Yo, what is up? What is happening? Hope everybody's doing well. So, the video of today is something I've been thinking about for a while. How do we stay excited, positive, and pumped about this game? What I mean by that is, how do you stay motivated? Because some people might just look at it and they just see it as just it's just a game, whatever, who cares? And that's fine, for sure. I agree. It doesn't need to be taken so seriously that it runs your life. But this game can provide a lot of enjoyment and entertainment and release from your normal day-to-day life. And not only does it provide you with that, but it's also a pretty healthy avenue. With that said, I want to get into a little bit more of why I wanted to make this video. In the community, I always see a lot of, how do I want to put this? Criticism-based, videos about MCOC. Videos that aren't about the actual gameplay. Maybe they're about modes of the game that need to be fixed, or characters that need to be fixed, or bugs, or blah, 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 right? And I'm not saying that these videos or ideas are unfounded. They have validity. There are definitely parts of this game that need improvement. There are definitely parts on Kabam's side of things that need improvement, communication, and blah, 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 all that. But that's not what we're talking about today. I wanted to focus on the more positive side of things. That's what I like to try to keep the vibe in my streams, try to keep the complaining to a minimum, and just keep it, as positive as possible. So, I first wanted to just share some of my ways that I keep myself motivated in this game to keep and I find that the more motivated I am in the game, the more fun I have, right? So the more I take on that outlook, whatever, I stop having as much fun in the game. So the more I focus and set out plans and outlines, the more enjoyment I get from the game, the more fulfillment I get from it. So anyways, with that said, I just want to talk about a few ways that I do that. I think first and foremost, and this is probably going to be an umbrella for all the other ideas that I have, but it just comes down into one word, and that is goals. Having long-term and short-term goals for your account's progression is so important for your, or at least for my level of interest and motivation to keep pushing in the game. How do you make the day-to-day grind interesting? Because from an outsider's perspective, you're just wow, you're just doing hundreds of arena fights, thousands of arena points. What's the point, right? Okay, so let me tell you what I do. At the beginning of every arena round, I give myself a goal or a benchmark number that I'm going for. So out of all of the arenas, I always set this goal and I say, I want to get the 2K shards from the 5-star arena. Okay, so I know that requires 11 mil. As I was building my 5-star roster, when I was down at about 35 5-stars, I needed to run all 35 of them 3 times a day. Okay, so that was my goal. Now everybody's gonna have different goals, but that was my goal: 3 times a day, and get to that 11 million. Now this proved to be difficult sometimes, but let's say I was I want to take a break from arena. I'm getting a little burnt out, which is fine. But with that, I didn't set a lower number goal. All I said was, I want to take a break. All of a sudden, by not having some goal, even if it was less, even if I said, okay, I only want to get 6 million this round, I didn't set that. By not having a goal, all of a sudden my motivation, not only for arena, but to grind other parts of the game, decreased. And by seeing that, I realized the importance of setting numerical goals at the beginning of every arena round. Other goals I like to set to make arena interesting is I'll be okay, I want to get to a million battle chips, or I want to get to 3,000 units, or I want to hit every single arena solo event that comes around, or I want to get every single revive from all of the solo events I possibly can, okay? Other things I would do is I want to get as many 5 stars, up to 345 as possible. Long-term goal. Super fun, one I'm still working on. I get a lot of enjoyment out of doing that. For those who do not like the arena grind, and that's fine, of course. Some people don't like the arena. They feel that playing the arena actually makes them dislike the game, and that's not the point, right? The point of this video is to try to find ways to make you to help you enjoy the game. So let's talk about, how about event quests, right? So maybe your goal is you want to do 1 level of difficulty per week, right? So maybe you want to, maybe you're the type player, maybe you're about mid-tier and you're still uncollected, maybe still gives you some problems, but you get it done. So maybe you're going to start with normal and burn energy and just start saving items, right, that you pick up along the way. Maybe you're getting revives from hero use and you're just building. So you set your week goals like, okay, I'm going to 100% normal. Second week, I'm going to 100% heroic. Third week, I'm going to 100% master. Fourth week, I'm going to 100% uncollected. Bam, you've mapped your month out. You've figured out some tools, some strategies to stay excited, to stay interested in the game. And I think that's great. I think like little strategies like that are really going to help you, whether you're an arena grinder or not. Okay, so now let's say you're in the beginning stages of the game, and you have trouble finishing master. Maybe master is giving you problems. Maybe you're a little farther. Maybe uncollected is like you can get 1 pass through. Okay, so you've got 2 ways of growing here. You can really grow your skill and your roster, and also probably simultaneously you're gonna be building your inventory of items so that when you go back, you're setting yourself up for the best chance of success. Correct? What I'm kind of dancing around right now is that goals are, in my opinion, the best way for you as a player, as an alliance, to stay interested and focused in the game. Yeah, I just think that's like I think that's really important. I think some people say, oh, it's just a game, and you know, but I think I'm of the mentality that if you're gonna do something, you should do it with passion. You should do it with interest. You should do it with enjoyment. You know, so many things in life, like work and the grind and all of that, can really weigh down on you. And I think finding outlets like MCOC really allows you to, kind of have these things in your life that give you joy, that give you passion, that excite you, that challenge you, that frustrate you. You know, frustration, all those things are fine. Anger even sometimes is fine when you get pissed because you can't beat this boss, but then you come back and you wreck that boss. And that gives you that feeling of accomplishment. Okay, so that's my little bit about goals. To come back around, I think for me as a player, the most important thing for me is setting arena goals, because I'm an arena-focused player to get my resources. But if you have other ways you like to play the game, maybe you're really into story quests, event quests, all that, other kind of modes, that setting goals for those is also very important. Now, I want to go to some testimonials. I'm not going to say the names. We're going to keep them, anonymous. But I've asked around in some of my streams, and I was just kind of asking people, like, what ways do you stay excited and focused in the game? So I'll just go ahead and read these. So here we go. The thing that keeps bringing me back to MCOC is knowing I can keep increasing my skill level. There is always something you can do to get better. I think this is a really cool thing to bring up because MCOC doesn't really have an end, right? As long as they keep putting out new content, we can keep growing. And in that sense, the game never ends. So always increasing skill level, always increasing the level of difficulty that you're challenging yourself with. Yeah, I agree with that one. I like that one. So somebody else said, I think the most common answer you're gonna get is to watch someone live streaming while grinding. And so this is where it gets really interesting. But for me, it's my recovery. I was a heroin addict, and one day my counselor shows me this game, and I've been clean ever since. So I thought this was a really powerful statement here. This isn't the first time I've heard this. This game requires a lot, right? And when people who have suffered from addictions, alcohol, gambling, although there is a hint of gambling in this game, right? Drugs, you know, any kind of addiction like that, that obsession with that drug or alcohol fills a very large part of that person's brain. So what this game does is this game requires a lot of thought and energy, right? So somebody who is trying to basically fill this void that they have in their brain from that was left by that drug, this game can fill that. It can give you similar feelings of satisfaction, of contentment, of excitement, of challenge, and require you to give a lot of energy to it. So that's why I think this is like can be a tool for people's success in sobriety. So I thought, and I know it's obviously not gonna, you know, this isn't like a 12-step program or anything, but I do think that this game can substitute, you know, parts of things that you may want to have, you know, that you may want to leave behind. So yeah, I thought that was a really cool thing to hear. Okay, so another guy says, don't stay in a stale alliance. Raise your prestige and challenge yourself in a higher tier alliance. Yes, I agree with this. Some people believe that when they're in an alliance, that's going to be their alliance for the duration of their game, their game's life, right? That they're loyal and they're friends, and that's it. What I think people should remember is that you can still stay friends even if you switch alliances. Everybody's going to have different paths. Everyone's going to have different, you know, ways in which they want to grow, and you don't need to just stay in your alliance because of some, you know, strict loyalty, you know, agenda that you have. That's the beauty of this game, is that you can still remain close with the many number of people that you meet along the way, along the stages of your progression. So I would agree with this. But if you really love your alliance, then stay with your alliance. But if you have that feeling like, oh, I'm not progressing the way I want to be progressing, oh, but these guys are super cool, leaving the alliance won't change your, as long as you leave on good terms. You say, hey, I'm going to be heading out at the end of, you know, after next week's AQ, I'm going to give you guys a full week to, you know, find a replacement or something like that. I'd love to stay and chat. And like, I have some, you know, I have one alliance that I'm still super cool with, still super, you know, in their chat, still chat every once in a while. Yeah. So, anyways, that's I like that. That's a good bit right there. Okay, so another guy, very simple. He says, I like collecting stuff, so the collection is the reason why I play the game. Very simple statement, but super important, okay? So I don't know about you, but I used to collect Marvel cards. Some people used to collect the comics, some people used to collect the action figures, but I was super hyped on the Marvel cards, right? And I would always look at the cards, and I was just so fascinated by the character designs and the stories in the back. And then here comes this game, and what better way to kind of, you know, develop that passion for the collection than to actually take those champions out of the cards, put them into a screen, and get to play with them. Like, that's super cool. And not only that, but I feel like Kabam's character development and character design is so sick. Like, of course, they miss the mark sometimes. They're not gonna hit it every time. But for the most part, their character designs, character interactions, character gameplay is super fun. I've never encountered a game that gives you so much of a kind of direct connection with these champions that I think we all kind of grew up with one way or another. Okay, so another bit here. Don't get caught up in the rat race of the game, just have fun. Yes, I like this one. I think a lot of people get caught up in like the meta, right? So they think, okay, so everybody is pushing Alliance War, and that's what I have to push. No, I would say do what you like, right? Find an alliance that's going to have similar goals as you. I personally like Alliance War as long as I'm succeeding. You know, you go into a war and you die and you're like, oh, I hate Alliance War. And then you go on I go on these little rampages where I'm like, this is how Alliance War needs to change. But really it's just me like projecting because I died. But like, I think, you know, really focusing on what your goals of the game are, not what everybody else's goals seem to be. Also, ranking champions that you want to rank up. The tier lists are important. I know people need tier lists to establish some sort of hierarchy in the game, who's best, who's not. But don't rank based on tier lists. They can influence your decision, but don't make them your sole. Don't make them your sole guide, right? I'll get messages where somebody's like, I've got 45 stars or 35 stars and only one god tier. And it's like, well, there's definitely some 5 stars in your roster that are worth a rank up that you're not ranking up because they fall in some other lower tier of a hierarchical list, and you need to have the god tiers because that's the rat race, right? That the rat race to get the god tier champs. But I really highly recommend that you actually play with these champions. Don't just pull a champion, get pissed because it's not in the, you know, considered in the higher tier, and then call it a day and never use them. Use your champions. Don't get caught in the rat race of chasing for those god tier champions. Play with your own champions. Take them into different acts. Take them into different modes of gameplay. See which ones you like and rank them up. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, so another bit here. For me, I think it comes within. I'm a competitive person in general, so it comes natural in the game for me. But I find that it helps not doing arena for me. I feel like if I grinded arena, I would get tired of the game. Okay, so there's 2 parts here. One, this person obviously really enjoys Alliance War. He's a highly competitive person, so he finds like the intensity of Alliance War really give him a lot of excitement and joy, right? But then another important part is he's found what he doesn't like about the game, and he stays away from it. He doesn't like doing arena, and if he feels like if he played too much arena, if he grinded arena, he would end up hating the game, and then he would lose the parts that he likes. So I think this is an important part, that there are parts of the game that you're not gonna like, and that's pretty normal. So, you know, stay away from them. Don't do them if you don't have to do them. Figure out other ways, strategize ways to subsidize those resources that you may be missing, those rewards that you may be missing. Yeah, I think that's a good bit there. But I think the competitiveness is also really cool. I'm also pretty competitive, so I like that stuff. Okay, we're going to do one last one here. Playing with friends and doing EQs and lab type stuff. I think that's where the game really shines and brings in some variance. Yeah, so doing EQ and lab stuff, definitely agree. I think having the EQ rotation every month really gives a little fresh, arena to the game, a little fresh environment, so to speak. But I think also playing with friends is huge, man. I think most of us could say that we have in some way made friends through this game. I think the stigma of making friends like through digital mediums is gone. I think it's just a norm now that you have friends that maybe you've never seen physically, in like a coffee shop or at the bars or whatever. These are friends that you've made through this digital medium of the game or on YouTube. I know the YouTube community is like, I feel like it just gets tighter all the time. So yeah, I think the friend aspect of this game is super cool. So yeah, good bit there. So I know this video is really stretched on for a long time. I don't know if anybody's still actually watching it. But I think it's really important to consider all the things that you do that give you joy in this game. It's easy to get on the bandwagon of hate of this game. You know, saying things like F Kabam, you know, Kabam doesn't do this, Kabam doesn't do that. And I mean, that's fair. Like I said, that's not unfounded. Everyone's definitely entitled to their own, you know, bits of constructive criticism. But don't let that, like, dominate the chats in your alliance. Don't let that dominate live streams. Think of the different ways that you enjoy this game. Think of the different ways that you want to strive to improve. Because, like, all in all these things that we do in our life are like, you know, analogous of other things that we do in life. So the more positivity that maybe you bring into this game, the more positivity you may bring into your family life, or the more positivity you're going to bring into your career. So I don't know, I think that's important, you know, because I feel like if you're going to be playing this game a lot and you're going to be super negative about it, I feel like that's going to bleed over into other parts of your life. So I think it's really important to stay positive. Use this game as a tool to improve your day-to-day life, you know? Establish goals, strive to be better, always be planning ahead in this game, always be planning ahead in this game. Prepare. Such an important part of this game. Yeah. Alright guys, well that was my long-winded video. As you have made it to this point, you have heard all of my opinions and all the things that I use to, you know, stay interested, stay passionate, stay motivated. Alright, well I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will check y'all later. Peace!